All right, well, here I started another project. I've had little moto trails in my woods for years, and I've had a pretty good turn track out here in my open part. But this year I'm going to really try to dial it in and have berms and some jumps and a really nice track. I've got roughly 20 acres to work with here. A lot of it is too steep for anything other than kind of enduro. But here's my first feature that I've started to work on to add to the trail. I had a bunch of rocks here from when I dug my septic. I lined them all up there and then packed a bunch of dirt in. I had to dig out a stump that was in the way. Just did it all by hand. I don't have a skid steer right now. And this is gonna kind of come off of a berm, which you can sort of see in the background there, that I have made on my turn track. And then right into this step down. And then it's gonna turn into my next feature, which I'll show you next. It's hard to see the berm right now a little bit because the snow just melted here. A week ago there was 1.5 feet of snow in the woods, so it all melted very quick this year and it's starting to dry out enough that it can be workable. So we really haven't had a chance to ride and make any tracks, but that's what I'm gonna try to do right now. So I just finished building this. I just worked on this. I started yesterday afternoon. I worked for maybe an hour, hour and a half, and then this morning I finished it up. It's just a lot of raking and cutting brush and cutting trees and digging. But I did it all by hand, and this is what I have for a day's work. So I'm gonna take my first hit on it right now with my KTM 350, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so that was pretty good. I do feel like it wants to kick my back tire up a lot. So I'm not exactly sure what to do about that. But I might try modifying it a little bit, but I think I might ride it a little more before I mess with it. I think I'm gonna leave this alone and move on to the next portion. We'll move on to a corner here. I don't think it's gonna be bermed that much, but I think over time it's gonna wear in because it is kind of off camber. I'll turn you around here. So here's where the trail goes after that little step down that we just built. It comes down and it's kind of this off camber right hand sweeping turn. And it feels really good already, honestly. And I think there's a little shelf there that could be cut down. I think over time riding it, it's gonna push down, but I might give it a little help with the pickaxe. And I wanna get a nice corner in here, but I wanna make sure it drains well as well. Then after that is a real tight berm corner that I built years ago with a skid steer, and I sort of finished, but I just kind of made it rideable and then quit. So we're gonna really try to dial that in next. Okay, so right here is where that sweeping corner ends. You can see where I just finished raking. I'm gonna rake the rest of this out and you'll probably be able to see it better, but out there where that hump of dirt is the beginning of a berm, and it used to come from the top of the hill going down. So the high side of the berm was down here and it worked pretty well. My daughter had a pit bike, a 110, and it was great for that corner. But now I want it to go uphill, and I might make it a slightly bigger radius just to work better with big bikes. So I'm gonna get it raked out just so we see what we're working with, and then we're gonna start moving a little dirt.
We're pretty lucky here and we have pretty good soil. If you just scrape off all the leaves and the branches, it's pretty easy to work with, especially this time of year. I'm doing all the work here with hand tools. I don't have any equipment right at the moment, so I'm just taking a little inspiration from the mountain bike guys online and doing everything with shovels and rakes and pickaxe.
Well, after taking that ride, I can tell that I need to shape the berm differently by quite a bit. First of all, the run in here, you can't really see it, it's right in front of the camera, but it isn't right. It needs to be deeper. I need to move it closer to the camera. So I'm gonna cut the run in and use that fill dirt I take out of it to start building up the rest of the berm. And then I have a ton of fill here, and actually just out of frame here I have a big pile of dirt. So this berm has to be significantly bigger. I would really like the ability to lay the bike down in this corner and really hold some speed going up this hill. So we're gonna try it. I've never built a berm that big. So we'll see how it works out.
I'm having a lot of fun doing this with hand tools. It just goes to show how much you can really dial in these features. I can tell it still needs a lot of work to do after sleeping on it overnight and thinking about riding it. I really got to shape this thing right, and it's fun. It's like a little sculpture out in the woods.
Okay, for that little ride, it let me know that I think this front part, the entry, is really good. It's taller than it needs to be, but I'm just going to leave it for now. That's extra dirt in case I need it in the future. But I do need to build up about halfway through the berm, maybe 60% of the way through the berm. One of the times that I tried to hit it faster at the end, I came up pretty high, and my tire track is just about at the top of the berm. I'll get you a little close up to that. Here's a close up of that berm. Here's the track where I went faster. You can see how high it's riding up on there. This is the slower track down here. But I definitely want to make it at least that high. So I'm probably gonna add another foot here on the crest of this thing until the tracks start heading back down to the base of the berm. Then we should be able to hit it pretty hard. So I'm gonna keep digging.
I do most of my riding on established single track trails. I do some off trail enduro type stuff as well. But I've really never spent much time on a manicured, prepared track. You know, I've never even ridden on a motocross track. So it's going to be cool to have this on my property, and I'm really going to try to dial it in. So I'm really looking forward to this whole project getting done.
Overall, this berm looks pretty great. This is the best time of year to do this. It's crazy how easy it is to dig right now compared to in the summer. So I got it shaped pretty well. I'm still not hitting it quite right, but I think part of the problem is actually the entry, which I'll show you here in a second. But overall, it feels pretty good. It needs a little tuning. I think I got to dig out this section here a little more in kind of the belly of the rut, or the belly of the berm, to really get in there, because right now it raises up. So we'll cut that in, and then I might add a little bit to the very top, just in case you run up a little too high, you don't go over the edge of the berm, which I did one time. So here's where I kind of dug my rut with a pickaxe on this corner. This is where you're going to enter off that little step up. This rut here I cut, it seemed like it felt really good until I built the berm up. If you can see from that angle, this lines you up too wide. So you come out too wide, and then you have to actually correct back into the center of the trail and then go back in to hit that berm properly. So what we're going to do instead is just move this line over maybe 3 feet, maybe 2 feet only, to really cut it high, so it's a big sweeping turn that lets you out right into the base of that berm. Okay, so I got my bike out of the way so you can see better, but I'm going to try to cut that line right about here. So it shoots off, you can see, right to the base of that rut. Over here is where that other line was. It's way off. It feels good in the corner, but it really screws you up setting up for the next one. So we're gonna redig this right here. Big ass root in there. There, got through it. don't know how it looked on camera, but that's the fastest I've ever hit a corner that tight. So that berm is working good. Needs a little bit of dialing here and there, but it's really, really close. This rut here, right next to my bike, is also pretty close. I need to ride it a little more before I'm going to dig it in permanently and find out where it is. But these parts of the track are really coming together. I've also figured out what is the problem with this little step down jump that I built this morning. It doesn't have enough dirt down here in the bottom. There's too much pop. There's too much angle on it. So when you go, it pops your back tire up, and in order to land flat, you gotta pop the clutch almost right off the lip to get it to land just right. So I need to fill in here and make this more of kind of a ledge rather than a jump. So even with a ledge here, then you can carry more speed, and it's gonna keep you nice and flat, and you'll be dialed in for that next corner. So I'm gonna scrounge some dirt from around the area here and fill this in and make it a little less of a jump.
By this step down here, I ran out of the excess dirt I had piled up near it from a previous project. So what I've been doing is digging just the top layer off the dirt, kind of one shovelful deep all the way across. And then that doesn't leave a big huge hole to fall in or to cause problems. And it also, I built it on the downhill side of the feature, so that should act as a little water trap. So when I get runoff off of this, if I have it graded properly, it should kind of collect in there, and it shouldn't be real noticeable.
Well, today was a big day of physical work, but I'm really impressed with what I got done. This trail is really starting to come together. This berm looks great. It's really the first day on the bike for the year, so a little bit rusty. Don't do like I did and ride in your rubber boots. I have moto boots sitting right there. I should have put them on. I bashed my shins a couple times, but at least I had a helmet on. But yeah, this berm is looking good. I still need to work on the entry. I don't know if it's my technique or if it's how the berm is shaped, but there's a little bit left to do. The step up, the original jump, is much better now. You can carry just the right speed out of that berm, and it doesn't pop you too bad. I think it could use a little bit more in there, so I'm gonna ride a little more and let it get rained on, and then I might throw some more fill in there, make it a little less poppy. Because if you hit it at the right speed, it's perfect. If you hit it the wrong speed, it still pops your ass end up a little bit. The next project is going to be connecting this over the hill. It's mostly going to be brush clearing. I don't know if there's really going to be any features there. I can't decide whether to make it a little tighter, like single track enduro style, or make a big wider sweeping turn to speed it up a little bit. This is a medium speed section behind us. Then this berm slows you down for just a second, but then you're kind of blasting up this hill. So I don't know whether it would be more fun to carry that momentum over the hill, maybe even have a little roller over the top of the hill, and then it goes down into a little muddy bottom, and then it opens up again. So that's enough work for one day. I can't believe how much I got done. I hope I can sneak another couple hours after work here and there to get it better this week while the weather's here. So thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and stay tuned for the next part.